Though it is not a new concept, modern media distrust stems from the Watergate scandal. But what was Watergate? During the 1972 presidential election, 5 men broke into the Democratic National Committee's headquarters in Washington, D.C. These men wiretapped phone lines and stole important, confidential information from the Democratic Party. Upon further investigation by the Washington Post, Bob Woodward, and Carl Bernstein, they found that President Richard Nixon actually hired these men and helped cover the story. These investigations ultimately brought Nixon to resign to prevent the shame of being impeached.
Watergate was kind of the pinnacle of this. But this kind of initial, in this new journalism too, this idea they embrace muckraking again is kind of the 1960s. They embrace muckraking and they embrace literary journalism, like this idea that you can write in more stylistic and kind of relatable ways.
New journalism brought about new criticisms that set the scene for media mistrust.
It's always artificial to identify one person as the cause of everything, but Richard Nixon is a good place to start, where in the earliest days of his political career liked to attack the media and say the media wasn't fair to him. After he runs for president in 1960, one of his chief complaints was about how the media had covered him and the media had never cut him a fair shake. Then he runs for governor of California. In 1962, he loses. He gives this unbelievable press conference after Election Day.
Make television, radio, the press recognize that they have a right and a responsibility that if they're against a candidate, give him the shaft. But also recognize if they give him the shaft, put one lonely reporter on the campaign who will report what the candidate says now and then.
The anti-establishment counterculture of the 1960s was a large factor in the general mistrust in institutions during this time. One of the biggest movements in the counterculture was the anti-Vietnam War movement.
Vietnam is really the turning point. So Watergate is definitely in the public imagination, but Watergate is the payoff from all of this kind of initial mistrust in the government and institutions. It's Vietnam that really journalists start to push back against their sources.
The counterculture idea of questioning authority figures is very present during the Watergate scandal. Woodward and Bernstein did standard investigative journalism techniques to uncover the scandal, but their editor said the story wasn't even worth pursuing at first.
Nixon and his guys are too smart to kind of get caught or do anything criminal. And it's Woodward and Bernstein who are younger journalists who kind of are hungry and they want to they think there's more to some of this.
As the Post continued to investigate, Nixon continued to attack the media's obsession of Watergate and claim his own innocence. America was split. While Nixon supporters challenged the trust in media, opponents challenged the trust in government.
Since Watergate is a sort of accelerated level of partisan disagreement about the media. And so, clearly the trend in public opinion polls about the news media has gone mostly in a downward direction. And there's a very clear partisan split on who trusts the media and who doesn't trust the media. And, that all has its roots in Watergate.